Yeah. And welcome, Terry, to our small Monday talk adventure. And
thank you for having me.
every Monday we have some presenter, we find some topic, and we discuss. And today, well, not a lot of people today, but everybody I see, I don't know who's Dmitry actually, but everybody else I see was visiting my Qigong class. So people already know what is Qigong, and also we will record. So hope other therapy people will look at it. So what can I tell? I myself, if you guys listen to my stories, most of my story starts like this. I felt physically bad. I had a huge pain. I was feeling like shit. And then I went and find something. So once upon a time, in 2017, I really felt bad. I was agitated. I usually first I do what I do at this moment. I'm start to look for Qigong. So I was looking for a Qigong teacher and suddenly found Terry. And it started an adventure. I think 6 years I follow you. And I'm grateful for the moment. I'm grateful for this bad pulse period, which made me to look for you because I think I found much more than only good health and mental stability. I also, particularly the Flying Phoenix Qigong, taught me a lot how to be a good teacher. Also looking at Terry, I think I kind of inherited something from your style. So I'm very happy to introduce you to my community and welcome. And I think I'll ask you questions and you people can prepare your questions and ask. And maybe you tell a little bit about what is Qigong, what is the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi? What is it about?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure to be here and also to be in this beautiful house and doing joint programs with Dina. As she mentioned, Dina first found me in Lenox, Massachusetts in 2017, I believe, when I was moved out there from California. I've been living in California from 1960 to 2017, and I flew out 3 times that summer to give workshops. And after the third one, the owner of this big, beautiful resort on 600 acres said, "How'd you like to be our first teacher in residence?" And I suddenly said, I could use a break from LA. So I flew out and I was only going to stay maybe 2 quarters, fall and spring. It turned into 6 years and counting. Okay, because I just follow where the teaching takes me, and it brought me here as well. But I've been doing Tai Chi, Qigong, and Kung Fu for more than 50 years. I actually started in 1973, exactly 50 years. And it started with a friend in college. And Qigong, okay, I have a very orthodox definition of what Qigong is, because that's how I learned it was Qigong is the esoteric secret Chinese yoga that's at the heart of Chinese martial art and healing arts. Okay, it's not like a very publicized pedestrian type of practice, although even China does it like that. But real Qigong is the core engine that drives Chinese martial arts and healing arts to supernormal levels. Okay, and in many of the traditional Qigong styles, you only come to it by going through many years of martial arts of Kung Fu. It wasn't until 4 or 5 years of doing Kung Fu in the Shaolin system, I even heard about Qigong and realized what it was. But fortunately for me, I also learned a style of Qigong and within Kung Fu at the Taoist Sanctuary in Los Angeles. And too bad I can't share the screen, but I learned from an authentic Taoist priest who had come to America in 1948. His name is Sher K. Lu. In another setting, I will share the screen and show you pictures.
I can give you a right to show if you want. So.
You want to? I could show a little bit. But before I get into details like that, I want to explain that Qigong is a general term, very general term. It means a vast body of Chinese yogas. And there are 3 different types. There is martial Qigong, that's part of martial arts. There's healing Qigong, such as Flying Phoenix, that's purely healing. And then there's also, and this is far more esoteric, spiritual Qigong, which is a vehicle, a foundation for spiritual experience in either Taoist or Buddhist traditions, okay? And, but Qigong, deep esoteric meditation, is at the heart of every major religion. All the Semitic faiths, okay, is based on this deep, deep consciousness that's developed, cultivated through meditative arts. And they are high arts. They're not just, you know, this meditation and do that. They're quite esoteric. To explain how esoteric one Qigong system is, there's one system called the 9 flowers, 9 forms in Taoist elixir method, the one I learned from the Taoist priest, where there are 9 exercises and you massage one's organs repeatedly in different patterns with these 3 fingers. Okay, this is really esoteric, okay? I'm doing this. And there's other stuff like this. And one where you put opposite hand on the hip bone, another one under the hip bone. And between the 8th and 9th exercise, one has to bathe, okay? And it takes about an hour to do this meditation. It's the second to the highest level. And one has to have learned all the Kung Fu, the martial arts, for the body to conduct the energy. This is so esoteric that if one does this exercise between the hours of 5 and 7 standard time, one will kill oneself.
Oh, yeah. No, we don't do that.
We don't do that.
No, we don't do that.
I'm just telling you how refined the ancient Chinese yogic arts became, okay? And so that's one tradition. But the basic level, which I teach, along with Flying Phoenix, which is the most popular by far, because Flying Phoenix is easy to do, has very fast-acting, deeply felt, and repeatable health effects. That's Flying Phoenix Qigong, which I'm going to talk about more here. But the other system I teach is called Dao Dan Pai, Taoist elixir method. And that's also a complete system, which is actually 24 generations old, created in the Tang Dynasty around 960 AD. It's how old these authentic traditions are. So as a teacher, I'm pretty orthodox, and I tell everyone there's no such thing as generic Qigong, okay? It's got to have a system, a style, a lineage of teachers, okay? For that way, you're more assured of getting wholesome, complete results. If you get bits and pieces of this art, this Qigong, that Qigong, you don't know what you might have, okay? Then you have to use your own discernment and feel for yourself in your own body, and mind, whether it's helpful and productive. So I just give that as general public service warning. Just like Tai Chi, which is more organized, you have lineages of masters. And even so, you want to look at a Tai Chi class, a group, look at the students, make sure they're healthy, wholesome, doing well, you know, that there's not a cult brewing, you know, there's no mind control going on. And too often, even if the Qigong exercise has an effect, you're in an altered state, an unethical teacher will use that state to implant messages of control. I'm also an expert on cult manipulation. We don't do that.
No, we don't do that.
The karma behind that is very grim. And I know people who are official cult busters when people come to them. So anyway.
Okay, could be bad sides, like
that's a dark side.
A dark side. What is the right side of using Qigong? Why would actually, because, you know, I would say, okay, we have a Qigong group, Sunday Qigong group, right? You know, I teach. And people do a little bit of Qigong, feel a little bit better, little bit more like energized. That's great. And maybe it's enough. But I am inviting right now people like for whole day workshop, for 4 hours workshop, or for like they do 1 hour, right? They do 4 hours, or during February workshop, we'll do 12 hours.
Yes.
So why would anybody do that?
Well, I would say the I like to explain the health benefits of Qigong by quoting a very famous master who was in this area in Kingston, actually, Master T.K. Shih, S-H-I-H. And I'll run up and get his book. I didn't bring it down with me. He defines, these are the 5 functional criteria of Qigong, okay? And I thought about it. I came upon his book back in the early 90s. I said, yes. He explains in the beginning of this thin book very nicely with all the erudition of a scholar and a Chinese master. He says he lists the benefits, qualities of Qigong as number 1, prevents disease. That is, it'll keep you healthy and prevent disease. That means strengthens your immunity. Number 2, cures disease, will cure certain types of maladies, ailments, and injuries. Not everything, but it should be able to cure to a certain level certain maladies. 3, strengthens the body. And I add to this, just by practicing authentic Qigong, your whole system will become stronger. You feel stronger, more energetic, okay, and literally have more, be able to do more work, which is force equals mass times acceleration over time, right? I think that's how it's defined in physics. So prevents disease, number 1. 2, cures certain types of disease. Number 3, makes the body stronger. 4th is improves intelligence, thereby increasing longevity. If you're doing authentic Qigong over time, your intelligence will increase. Okay, it's measurable too, okay, because it activates certain brain centers. And I'm about to get myself hooked up and studied by Yale Neurosciences to prove that these arts affect brain function in a very positive way. So the 4th functional criteria is improves intelligence. And the way T.K. Shih, he says it in the same breath because he writes it in Chinese, improves intelligence and you live longer, okay? You make better decisions. You don't make bad decisions or fatal decisions. So you live longer. And fifth is just important, the same valence as the first 4. Authentic Qigong, 5th quality is it develops and manifests latent powers. Latent powers are clairaudience, clairvoyance, what's the word? Telekinesis, okay? Healing at a distance, or just healing close by. Energy healing, all these that are in general that Western science has not fully accepted, embraced, or verified, but I've experienced for all my life, and it's in all the literature of all the yoga cultures in the world. Latent powers are developed by Qigong. If it doesn't do that, I'm being very orthodox here, it's not Qigong. Okay. So that's my 5 functional definition. And hold on one second. You could have a little discussion. I'll run up and get the book real quick to show you what it is. It's an excellent, very simple book. Right back.
Okay. Okay, friends, Terry wants to show us a book, but maybe somebody wants to ask a question. Welcome. Emma?
Hi, Dina. Nice
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I just missed the beginning of the lecture. This is not the regular classic Qigong, no? What he's teaching, is it like classic Qigong or some kind of branch of it? Could you explain?
I think I will give Terry
What was the question?
an answer.
Okay.
Is it a classic Qigong, what you teach, or it's a branch of it?
Oh, what I teach is very classical Qigong. The 2 styles of Qigong I teach, the most popular is Flying Phoenix. It's called officially Ermei Mountain, Ermei San, Flying Phoenix Qigong. In Chinese, it's called Fei Feng San Gong, Flying Phoenix Heavenly Healing Qi Meditation. It was created from 1644 to 1661 by a very famous, now legendary Taoist monk named Feng Dao De, or Feng Do Duck in Cantonese. in Western China, there are steles and monuments to him. He's almost, not quite, almost as famous as Chan Feng, the inventor of Tai Chi. Okay, but he's all over Western China in the area called San. Mountain is this beautiful Taoist monastic community. It was. It's that area was inhabited for 10,000 years. And in 300, the Buddhists took it over. And it's a famous pilgrimage site for Buddhists, especially Tibetan Buddhists. Look up, some spell it O-M-E-I or E-M-E-I. The old romanization is E-H-R-M-E-I. Shan is mountain, S-H-A-N, Shan. That's where Flying Phoenix was created. And I happen to be the sole 7th generation instructor preserver of this art. My teacher, Grandmaster Due, was the 6th generation family inherited master, where his first ancestor learned it directly from the monk. Okay. And so, yes, answer your question, what I teach is very traditional. Okay. The other art I teach, Taoist elixir method, Dao Dan Pai, is much, much older. As I mentioned, it's 24 generations old, created in the Tang Dynasty. Okay. And again, there's a lineage of masters. My teacher was sent out of China in 1948 when they were certain that the communists were going to take over China. So he was sent out to America and supported by the Chinese communities here. And he didn't start teaching non-Chinese till 1968. And 3 prominent actors, actually, that had money, they built the Taoist sanctuary of Los Angeles around Master Lu when he arrived in 1960, actually in the mid 60s, they started it. And yes, the arts I teach are very classical, okay? And you'll feel it. You just feel there's just something very old and deep about them once you get into it. But let me backtrack. This is the book I mentioned. It's called Qigong Therapy, okay, by T.K. So cool, sure. It's available in Amazon in use. I don't think it's in print anymore, but there's plenty around. And it's a beautiful thin book, and it gives excellent history, okay, of the origins of Qigong, explains the meaning of the calligraphy and so forth. Very, very easy to read. And he says, these famous words of Lao Tzu from the Tao Te Ching are usually translated, the Tao that can be spoken of is not the everlasting Tao. But for the practitioner of Qigong, they have a special meaning. The Tao that can be spoken of is the ordinary Tao, the way of ordinary reality that can be grasped by the senses and understood through application and study. But there is also a Tao that cannot be seen by ordinary means. Here, the application of the senses and the studious accumulation of knowledge are of no avail. This invisible Tao can only be seen by the Qigong master, who, as the calligraphy on the following page expresses, desiring nothing, understands and possesses all things. That's also in the Tao Te Ching, okay? That's also the Tao, yeah, right here. Okay, right there in the very opening of the book, he explains 2 passages in the Tao Te Ching that most even scholars don't get. The other level of Tao, what is the meaning of desiring nothing, understands and possesses all things? Okay, so wow. Highly recommend this book. Okay, and again on page 4, he lists his criteria. I discovered this book when it came out, I think in the mid 90s or 94, 95. And when I said this, I said, yeah, he puts in the words my feelings about it, which I hadn't put into words yet. So so it says disease prevention, disease treatment, strengthening the body, improving intelligence and prolonging life. And 5th, manifesting latent power. So I add my definition to all those, but I'm just quoting Master Shi. And unfortunately, he's not with us anymore. I didn't get to meet him, but Brewster, who Dina knows from my workshop, Brewster Heatley, who is one of my top students, he studied with Master Shi for years, and also with his daughter. He has 2 daughters, Melanie, I forget the other one's name. One inherited all the Master Shi was a famous Chinese healer, Qigong healer in these parts. One daughter inherited the medical art and had a predilection to do the healing. The other daughter he sent to China, and she learned from the famous Wu style master, Ma Yu Lang, whose niece was a friend of my mother's. So the other daughter became a master of Wu style Tai Chi. And that's what masters do. They send their siblings or family members to other masters to study. So, but I believe I know that one of Master Shi's daughters is in Kingston, New York, nearby, and has a practice. So I look forward to visiting her soon. But this is her father's book, and it's quite excellent. And again, the more you practice, much here. The keys to Qigong exercise and keeping fit expounded by Dr. Sun. Okay, this is another person. 4 Seasons, Dr. Sun wrote, Sun Simao, renowned physician of the Tang Dynasty. Okay, this is Dr. Sun from 24 generations ago. I'll just add this to explain further his take on Qigong, which conforms to mine. The keys to Qigong exercise and keeping fit expounded by Dr. Sun conform to scientific laws and are quite feasible. They influence later theories about Qigong and preserving health. According to modern scholarship, Sun Simao lived to be 102. His longevity is surely related to his practice. And I just met Master Quan Sai Hung, who teaches at Woodstock at the Mountain View Studio on Tuesday nights. I met him last November after one of my workshops in Catskill. He's 102. He just fact 103.
And is he still teaching?
Carol Capel is his student who assists him, and he's slowing down a bit, but now November's passed, he's now 103. I met him a week after.
And he still teaches.
Still teaches. Okay.
Okay, that's a good example.
And last thing I'll say, longevity. There's so much I could talk about, just Qigong health and longevity. When I was training at the Taoist Sanctuary, we found it in the LA Times. Is a long article, and we cut it out and pasted it and copied it, sent it to everyone. In China, they discovered a man, they interviewed a man, and he was proven to be 148 years old. Okay. Historians asked him what was going on, and everything he talked about from his childhood through his development conformed to what the historians knew. Also, that was ample proof he was growing in his 3rd set of teeth. Okay. Can't make that up. And they asked him, what is the key? What do you believe was your key to your longevity? This man said, well, he was a farmer all his life, did nothing but farming. But since the age of 6, 3 things. He was a farmer all his life working in nature. He never touched 1 drop of alcohol. Okay. And since the age of 6, he practiced Tai Chi and Qigong. Yeah. So those were his. Yeah, that was and they had a photo of him with a headband. He looked 148 and still vital. So that's
okay.
Yeah. And again, Master Guan is still around. I have a photo I could share another time of last fall when I met Master Guan Sai Hung. And we had arranged for my teacher, Sher Lu in Dao Dan Pai in the early 90s, 1991. I arranged with Deng Ming Dao, and you should know of this author. He's Master Guan's one of his senior students. He's an architect in the Bay Area, San Francisco. He's written very good books on Taoism. He wrote 360 Degree Tao, and he wrote Chronicles of Tao, which is the biography of Master Guan. His amazing life from the time he was in the monastery throughout World War II. He became undersecretary to Zhou Enlai. He became a circus acrobat before that. Then he came to America, and he interviewed all these Taoist masters and confronted them if they were phony. So, but anyway, Dao Ming Dao and myself, we arranged for our 2 teachers to meet because they're the only 2 Taoist priests in America. And they met. And the next day, I recall it was a Sunday, I was in San Diego in Master Shi Lu's room, in his living room. He said, Master Guan, he looked perfect. He's 64 years old, not one gray hair. That's in 1991. He was 64 years old. He said, he looked perfect, not one gray hair. And then he said, Master Guan, he speaks 6 languages. He even speaks my village dialect in Toisan. Okay, man was so worldly. And so my teacher had nothing but ebullient, joyful things to say about him. Because you could imagine 2 masters of these ancient Taoist monastic traditions, dislocated, both winding up in America, and they meet. Life is lonely until you meet someone your level. You know, that's the whole point of Journey.
That's an interesting.
That's the theme of Journey to Ixtlan, you know, Castaneda book. Once you start see, the world gets very lonely until you meet other people that could see to the same extent. All right. So that was all. He was so delighted and ebullient over meeting Master Guan in 1991. So that's another, you know, mark of authenticity. Okay, these 2 masters.
Okay, wait.
I can demonstrate. I'll demonstrate the difference between the 2 arts. Any other questions?
Questions. First, I want to ask if somebody else has. I always have a lot of questions. Maybe somebody else have a question about Qigong, about Taoism, about magic. Think about it. Not yet.
I'm
Rita?
wondering what is the difference between the major difference between Tai Chi and Qigong, because I do Tai Chi is 24 movements to both sides, and I do it pretty regularly. It's an amazing thing. I always thought it's somehow related or has a lot in common. Maybe you can explain?
Sure. The difference between, it's almost comparing apple with a bag of oranges. Okay. Like I said, Qigong represents, the word Qigong is a broad body, vast body of Chinese yogas, different systems, methods of yoga that cultivate energy for different purposes, for strength, for health, for martial art, for spiritual art. Tai Chi is a discrete martial art with a certain history. Is invented by a Taoist monk named Chan San Feng in the 14th century, I believe. And it has Chen style Tai Chi was the oldest known style that came from that. There's also a Wudang style of Tai Chi, W-U-D-A-N-G. You can look that up on YouTube. You'll see monks at Wudang, which is the northern monastery in China. That's where Chan San Feng invented the art. So their ancient Tai Chi is very, very pure and pristine. Tai Chi is a martial art. Within Tai Chi, there is what's called Tai Chi Qigong, which is very esoteric. And it involves holding the postures and doing the movements while visualizing certain energy flows through the body. Okay. As I said, Qigong is the core engine, a secret esoteric yoga that provides energy inside a martial art or a healing art that empowers it to a supernormal level. So you could say Qigong is a vast body of Chinese yogas that have specific purpose, that create even specific flavors of energy that are tangible and discernible, not just energy, bland, general energy, but specific flavors of energy. Those who practice the Flying Phoenix Qigong, and I have lots of testimonials to this, they feel a distinct healing energy that's soft and penetrating, that's like honey-like and smooth, and that even has a color that's visible in your aura once you practice enough. Okay. The Dao Dan Pai energy is, from my other system that I teach, is very generalized. And that's because that art is what's called Shen driven. Shen is your psychic focus or psychic awareness, what I call the pure speculative aspect of action, or what Buddhists would say your intentionality. But deeply focused, finely focused intentionality, that's your Shen energy that's projected by your mind through your eyes. The whole art of Dao Dan Pai, you are constantly using your Shen to direct energy throughout the body in healthful patterns. So that at the end, when you master it, you can move energy to anywhere, to any part of the body. You could project it for healing. You could bolster it in a part of the body to absorb trauma and not be hurt by it. That's how Dao Dan Pai works. Flying Phoenix is completely Shen passive, while Dao Dan Pai is Shen directed. Flying Phoenix is based completely on breathing method, a breathing formula, a breathing percentages, a sequence of percentage exhalations with a full breath in between. This mysterious formulation of breath sequences ignites a cultivation of energy in the body and instantly snaps your consciousness into a state of oneness or absorption. Okay, what Buddhists call access concentration, first level of absorption, or the first jhana. Okay. And that does it. It happens every time. Everyone who does Flying Phoenix, they're instantly in this deeply integrated, relaxed, self-healing state. Whereas the other art, Dao Dan Pai, it takes lots and lots of practice of focusing the energy to move, focusing your Shen to move the energy through the body. They say the mind moves the Qi, Qi moves the body. Tai Chi is similar in that respect, although not as precise in how we move the body. They do it by postures. We hold postures as structure, as energy structures. Then we flow from one structure to the next. And as every artist knows, the art is in the transition. Okay. So how you move in transition from one posture to the next is the art of Tai Chi, is the essence of it. Does that answer your question? Difference between Tai Chi and Qigong?
I understand completely what you mean, but I just think that it would be great to get deeper with the teacher, because I'm on my own for many years already. Fortunately, I had a good teacher, but as you said, everything in the flow. So
Yes.
it would be great to deepen and
Yeah.
The art is art in the flow, and unless you have a teacher who's published a lot of videos and gives you a lot of examples that you can follow, and if you have good eye-body coordination, you do ultimately have to learn directly in the presence of a teacher. I still study with my teacher. He's 90 years old. I've been studying the same style of Tai Chi since 1980. I studied with a master Abraham Liu from 80 to 92. Also attended 13 consecutive summer workshops with Master Benjamin Low, who was very famous. He wrote many books on the West Coast. And then I took a break, and in 2012, I met my present teacher, William C.C. Chen in New York, who now is 91 years old, and I still can't touch him. And I'm pretty good with Tai Chi and martial arts in general. I've trained police. I trained the LA Lakers. I can't even come close to touching my teacher. That's why I do not call myself a Tai Chi master. I am a Kung Fu and Qigong master, but not Tai Chi, not yet, because I cannot do what my teacher can do. Seriously.
Okay, for us, maybe okay.
Yeah.
I have a question. Let me formulate it. We are planning those workshops right now, and I ask you today to put Flying Phoenix as a main topic. Maybe you show other arts and Dao Dan Pai and Kung Fu, but because of my big love, Flying Phoenix, how much I love. And you tell it's a purely healing system, but I have a lot of experience, spiritual experience during this, and insights and very deep realization. That's why I love this team, not only because of healing. So why would you call it just healing?
It's well, again, healing. Yeah. It's also a spiritual art. Its roots, according to the oral tradition, from the ancestral line of my teachers, they said that the monk Feng Do Duck channeled this information, and it's vast. It's not just Flying Phoenix Qigong. There's an entire famous body of martial art or hygienics called Ermei Mountain White Tiger Bak Fu Pai Kung Fu, which is vast beyond belief. The Flying Phoenix Qigong itself is vast compared to other Qigong systems. It's just the health safety net of the Bak Fu Pai tradition. It's the first thing my teacher learned as a child. Okay, but the system beyond it, there's another system I know that has, Flying Phoenix has 8 meditations.
But it has 8 levels.
Yeah, no, it has 8 different meditations. It does have that many levels. 3 are sedentary, and this one, and 5 are moving meditations. Okay, Then there are 24 seated meditations.
Yeah.
There's a sister art that I also know, but I'm not taught much of, consists of 54 meditations, most of them standing. It divided in 3 groups of 18. They're both health and vitality. And one creates a round, smooth, circular spiraling energy like Tai Chi. The other creates a martial energy that likes to break things. It just breaks things. And a third art is very strange. It's a moist energy that if one, and my classmate, I had 2 classmates, we learned this at the same time. We each learned one set of 18, a different set, and then we were told by the teacher to exchange so that we all wound up with 54. My classmate, Jeff Roth, that learned the one system, when he finished it, he projected his hand against a mirror, and fingers of, it was eerie, fingers of steam rose up the whole length of the mirror to the top, like more than 3 feet from his fingers. He projected his hand against the mirror and steam went straight up the mirror. Okay. And that is a martial energy you don't want anywhere near you. That's all I could say. That's how esoteric ancient Qigong is. Okay. So all this was channeled by this monk. He was said to have traveled all through Western China and into Tibet. There's some similarities. I met one Tibetan teacher where they had not similar, but they also had breath control where they exhale a certain percentage, inhale up, exhale. That technique is found in a few rare forms of Tibetan yoga, but that breathing formula permeates all of the Bakfupai tradition. And there's certain, I can tell from the formulas whether the Qigong is healing or whether it's martial or something else. So it's very esoteric and very fine-tuned, because the breath control sequences, for example, you could do this with me right now. You could do it even sitting. Here.
You want to lead some exercise first?
Yeah, let's stay seated. I'll show you one example.
So let me wait. You
Okay.
want to show example? Okay. I thought maybe we invite people to follow.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to follow?
No. Everyone follow this. First, I just thought this came to me. This shows you the importance of this shape, okay, which is found in Flying Phoenix Qigong, and it's called monk gazing at the moon, or I call hugging the egg. You hold your forearms like this, smooth, with smooth wrists, with the fingertips at eye level, okay? Hold it like that, and just hold it and get used to it, because I'm going to have you do something and then return to this position, okay? Everyone, okay, I hope everyone turns on their video and hope everyone do this, because this you could do instantly. You could tell, you could feel what she is instantly, and your palms face each other, not forward, but they face each other towards the center line. Fingertips around nose or eye level, okay? And very relaxed. You keep the wrist smooth. In Tai Chi, we call it beautiful lady's wrist. Smooth curve from elbow to fingertips. Don't bend this way and don't bend that way, but just a smooth curve in the wrist. And you hold this away from your face, maybe 8, 9, 10 inches, okay, not too close, because you want to have a nice angle, at least a 90-degree angle in your elbow, so the fingers are slanted away from you, okay? We'll come back to this. So remember this, because when I say hug the egg, I'm going to say hug the egg and come back and hold this, right? So now I want you to hold your hands out like this. Left palm down, right palm up. Okay, just do this. And squeeze each hand 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip them over. Left palm up, right down. 10 squeezes and opening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip them over. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip more. Keep your shoulders relaxed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Even faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As fast as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now hold the egg. And hold it away and look at your hands. And breathe. Breathe through the nose with tongue on roof of the mouth. You can move your hands apart from each other and inward. You feel something jump across, a density between the palms?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's your energy.
Wow.
Chi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's simple, just that simple. This is a principle of yin yang, okay? Left and right, up and down, and open and close. That's all yin yang practice. And then we come to unity. And that's what the Tai Chi Classic says. Tai Chi comes from Wu Chi. The round circle, this posture is called Wu Chi. Tai Chi comes from Wu Chi and is the mother of yin and yang. In movement, it separates. In stillness, it fuses. So that's why, besides the movements in a Tai Chi form, you need to do, and teachers will teach you how to do still postures in the Wu Chi position. Because this is the source. The Wu Chi stands for primordial unity, or the ultimate void, okay? Before the manifestation of the yin and yang, you have Wu Chi, and that's a demonstration of the yin-yang energy fusing as one, okay? And you could do that, just play around with that on your own.
What I know, what I remember from early moment, like when I start working with you, I've done Qigong for many years, in and out, and I always hated those postures.
Maria is still enjoying. Maria is still holding it.
Hated them, like all these 3 pose Qigong. I couldn't do it. And when I after a couple of seminars, I just noticed, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. I even didn't notice I'm doing it. Oh, I'm standing for 15 minutes. Fine. So it was the moment of wow.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'm enjoying it actually.
Flying Phoenix Qigong is very subtle. It just
I
permeates.
can tell you, Terry.
You're in such a sublime state of oneness. One of my students said she had to pull the car over when she was driving home because it came on after she left. The Flying Phoenix Qigong, the healing mode, it envelops you, and oftentimes, regularly, it will set on hours after you finish practicing. And it's delightful, and it's a delightful surprise that's quite blissful. Yeah.
You know what? I'm a long time Tibetan Buddhism practitioner, and one of the things which attracts me to Flying Phoenix that I kind of recognize the energy, the most subtle, beautiful energies which I find in Tibetan practice. I find it here, and it combined with movement, which is for me is very important because I can't sit and meditate for too long. I spend too much time near computers. Opposite to ancient Tibetans who were moving all the time to mountain and back, and then happily sitting in monastery. I'm opposite. I need to move, otherwise I won't be healthy. And this Qigong brings both things which I love. It's like slow, nice movement, and this fine, subtle, amazing, high energy which I enjoy from Tibetan meditation. So I'm very happy that I can introduce this practice to my community, and I'll put this seminars maybe tomorrow or Wednesday out, and welcome. It's a great chance to work with really high master.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to lead us in one very simple one, very, very nice, very easy to do. That's based on this exercise. Okay. So get seated and comfortable. Okay. And and also you don't have to sit alone. You could prop your back up against a chair, back, or furniture. You don't have to sit in the middle of the floor. The Flying Phoenix is very accommodating. Okay. So this uses this posture again called monk gazing at moon. And I want you to hold this position. In a minute, I'm going to lead you through a breath control formula that's specific to this exercise. Okay, and then basically it consists of 5 exhalations to a specific percentage where you, for example, I'm going to say exhale 50% of your lung capacity. You just roughly guesstimate half your lung capacity and exhale to it. Then I'll say inhale, then exhale completely. Inhale completely, then exhale 30%, a different percentage. So it continues like that. Don't worry about being precise in breathing, exhaling percent. When I say exhale percentage of lung capacity, you just do it, you guesstimate it. And just have faith that the relative percentages will do the trick. Okay, they'll have very interesting effect. Okay, so we're going to hold this, and I'm going to lead you through a breath control sequence. And once we hold this for about a couple of minutes, I'm going to say tweak your arms, and watch this. I want you to slowly roll the palms so the palms face you, and then roll the whole forearm, palms face away from you. And now this is a trick that will help your Tai Chi too. Don't just turn the wrist like this. I want you to rotate the whole forearm. And the way you do that, okay, you imagine you have a wooden dowel that's 2 inches long. It's glued to the forearm just below the elbow. Imagine a wooden stick that sticks out 2 inches glued to each forearm just below the elbow. To turn the palms towards your face, you mentally push the lever away from you. In order to bring the palms to face forward at this angle, you pull the lever. You mentally pull the lever towards your center and push out to turn the palms towards your face. You get it? So that by thinking down here, you move the whole forearm. Don't just turn the wrist. Move the whole forearm by imagining those levers, okay? So very simple. All we're going to do is hold this. Then I'm going to lead us through the breath control sequence. And we're going to hold this for a minute. And then when I say begin, you slowly tweak the forearm like this. And you'll find very interesting effect from doing this, okay? So here we go. And all the breathing is through the nose. You put the tongue to the roof of the mouth, all right? Breathe just through the nose and breathe quietly and slowly so you don't hear the air coursing through your passages, all right? Now we begin by taking 3 full breaths, as deep as you can. 3 breaths, go. After the 3rd breath, inhale fully through the nose, inhale. Exhale just 5%, 1/20th, short exhale. Inhale 5%. Exhale 100, let it all out. Inhale, deep breath, 100%. Then exhale 60%, 6/10. Inhale 60%, fill up to the top. And exhale 100%, let it all out. Breathing only through the nose. Inhale, another full breath, 100%. Then exhale 80%, 80. Inhale 80% to the top. Exhale 100%, let it all out. You can close your eyes even. Inhale, full breath. Then exhale 40%, 40. Inhale 40 to the top. Exhale 100, let it all out. Inhale, another full breath. Then exhale 30%, 30. Inhale 30. Exhale 100, let it all out. And now breathe normally. You can close the eyes, keep the tongue on roof of the mouth, and breathe only through the nose. Remember, lightly hug the egg. It's like your forearm are draped on top of a giant dinosaur egg. Okay. Keep the back still. Keep your breathing deep, relaxed, and quiet. Hold still, still. And every breath is more relaxed than the previous breath. And now you can open your eyes and peek for this just to make sure. Now begin the tweaking rotation of the forearms. Push the lever away from you and the palms turn towards your face. Slowly pull the levers, the little wooden dowel on your forearm, pull towards you and the palms face away from you like this. And do this slowly and smoothly. Rotate the forearms very slowly. Keeping your back and your head still and relaxed. Breathing normally. Don't hold the breath for anything. Breathe normally the whole time. Not just this exercise, but every meditation in Flying Phoenix Qigong. After the breath control, you breathe normally. Rotating the forearms is the only thought you want to execute. Just move slowly and smoothly. And you could also stop when the palms face directly each other. You could pause and then continue rotating the forearms. You'll feel an intensity when the palms directly face each other in the basic monk gazing at moon position. And continue tweaking. You can peek if you want to and follow me, or just do it on your own. And now stop the tweaking, stop the rotation, and hold the palms so they face each other. And continue meditating in stillness with eyes closed. And fingertips are even around nose or eye level. Palms facing each other. Remember how beautiful lady's wrist, smooth curve from elbow to fingertips. And don't hold the fingertips too close to your eyes, about 8 or 9 inches away. And now everyone listen carefully. Take 3 deep breaths, each one 100%, as deep as you can. Begin. 1, 2, deep breath. And on 3rd breath, exhale through the mouth, open your eyes. And you can lower the hands. Okay.
Oh,
And what did you feel?
what
Anyone?
do you feel this? Anybody wants to say something?
It might
I
take a
personally,
while to recover.
yeah, I personally feel I didn't practice Flying Phoenix for a while.
But you'll feel it come back right away with this.
Yeah, I feel this energy right away.
This demonstrates, this is what I call, this is one of the warm-ups. It's not one of the official meditations of Flying Phoenix. It's a key warm-up exercise seated that
Yeah,
teaches.
before this monster and wine.
Yeah, that's a different one. That's another warm-up where you raise the arms up. But this one shows you the importance and how powerful the monk gazing at moon position is. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
all
So
that-
anybody has questions or comments or something?
You may feel something later tonight too. You'll probably sleep
Yeah,
well.
maybe. Well, okay, I'm happy to get back to this Flying Phoenix practice. I did feel this energy, which I enjoy so much. I don't know if you guys would feel it, but I know the energy, so I tuned to it right away and come here to practice Qigong with Terry.
Great. I look forward. Come whenever you can. We'll be doing, full day workshop and 3-day workshop in February, and also starting a schedule. I teach since 2020 January. I've been teaching a Sunday Zoom class where I teach both Dao Pai and Flying Phoenix. That's on my newsletter, which is terrencedunn.substack. You're welcome to join that anytime.
Yeah, I can. Well,
and
I'll
even
be.
come here in person. If you
Yeah.
come here in person, take it. Yeah.
Yeah. When I put your workshops, I'll put your website, etc., so people can take a look. That's the stuff.
Well, thank you, Dina, for having me. Thank you for letting me share.
Have a
Okay.
good night, guys.
Right. Good night, everyone.